When was the last time, if you live in the Western world, let's say America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, when was the last time you paid $34 for a month of transportation? 34 US dollars for a full month of transportation. This is what I was just talking about to my boy Sean. So the guy filming this video, he told me he paid 500,000 rupiah a month for his scooter. This thing will get you around, and like, you might say, what other costs you have? You have gas, right? So I'm guessing no more than 50,000 a month. So that's another 200,000. So literally with gas and everything you need, 700,000 a month. I wanted to make this video. I don't want to do a super long one. So if you want to see a full cost of living, check out my brother's channel, Passport Heavy, and he breaks down like every little single thing that you need to know about the cost of living, coming here, moving here, staying here for a day or two. But I just wanted to break down a few things, especially because of this place that we're in right now. So we live in an area called Canggu, but more specifically Brawa, and we have a 5-bedroom place there. So for our 5-bedroom place in Brawa, we pay 30 million rupiah a month, which is about like $2,000. And the place that we stayed at before in Chamagi, which is a little further out, in a way quieter part of town. So in this house, it was 160 million. But this is literally one of the best houses I've ever stayed at in my entire life. And I've stayed at some dope places. Like when you travel with Jabril, you're gonna stay in amazing places. And this house, like, it's a house you will never, ever, ever forget. You got 2 swimming pools. The staff that the house comes with, you get a chef, you have a butler, you have a whole bunch of cleaning people, you got people like literally, like if you don't want to do anything for yourself, you want to live like Richie Rich, you can do that here. And the price that you're doing it for is ridiculous when you compare it to other places in the world. So this weekend we decided to come up north to an area of Bali called Ubud. So this house that we're staying in right now is 5 bedrooms and it only costs $140 a night. 140 US dollars a night. Now, tell me what places that you know in the Western world, in first world countries, that you can do that. I don't know any place like that. I barely know any places where you can get a nice apartment for $140 a night, right? So this place has an amazing swimming pool. We got a balcony up there, all the different amenities that you need, a nice kitchen, and just a really nice view in a really nice place, a quiet area besides the guy yelling at the birds in the rice fields. But your money can go so far when you come to Bali. And one of the other things too would be the bike that I got, right? So I told you my friend Sean, he's got his bike for 500,000. I have a 250cc bike, and that cost me 2.5 million for the month, which is like nothing. Like you will literally pay this for one day when you rent this if you're in like Miami or LA or something like that. And let's say you want a bike that's somewhere in between Sean's bike and my bike. You want something a bit faster, but you're still riding automatic. You can get a very popular bike out here called the NMAX, and you can get this anywhere from like 750,000 to 1.2 million. So like around 50, 60, 70 bucks, you can have a really nice, like comfortable mode of transportation for the entire month. All right, so if you don't want to drive, or sometimes you just want to sit in a car or get on someone else's bike, you can get a Grab bike. So Grab out here is the equivalent of Uber in like America and Europe and stuff like that, right? So for this 2-kilometer ride, I only paid 23,000 for that. And most rides, like if you're riding within the area that you're in, like 10, 15, 20 minutes, you're not going to be paying barely anything for this. And so like even if you don't want to rent your old bike, you can still get around town at a super, super, super affordable rate. All right, so now let's talk about food. So right now it's obviously the pandemic and we are locked down to a degree. It's like you can go to some restaurants aren't fully open, you can't sit down for a long time. So for like over the last few months, we've been ordering most of our food, right? So like I said, Uber is the equivalent of Grab out here. So what we order is Grab food. Now, if you want a super local dish, something from a restaurant, nothing fancy at all, you can literally have like an entire meal for like $3 US. Now, like for me, I just ordered from someplace. It was definitely like a Western restaurant. And my order, I believe, was like 300,000 or something like that. So you can have like anything from there, like anything from like 50,000 all the way up to a few 100,000. This obviously depends on like what type of food you want. If you want the Western food, you're gonna pay a little bit more. But if you're just having local food, so like ayam bakar, which is like grilled chicken, or ikan bakar, which is like grilled fish, and like nasi goreng, which is fried rice, you can get this at a super, super cheap price. And it's so convenient. It's literally the same as having Uber Eats back home. Now when you go out to eat, you can do the same thing. If you go to a local restaurant, you can have a full meal for, like I said, like 50,000 rupiah. And then also if you go to some cheaper Western restaurants, so like one of my favorite places to go is Crate Cafe. Like literally my favorite breakfast / brunch place in the world. You can have a full meal, and I'm talking about like a man-sized meal for like 100,000 rupiah, which is like $7 or $8 US. And these are like big portion sizes. And then if you go a little bit fancier, you might be paying like 300,000 - 400,000. So if you go a little bit fancier, you might be paying like anywhere from like 300,000 to 400,000 rupiah per meal. Like you're not gonna really go much more expensive than that unless you're going to like the top places. Like I can't remember the last time I paid like over 500,000 rupiah for a meal for myself. Like obviously if you're with someone else and when you're including drinks into the mix, that's when the prices will start to add up. But for the most part, like you're gonna be spending less than like $25 US on your meals, even if you're going out to a decently nice spot. All right, so for me, a really important thing is obviously staying in shape. My name's Abnormal Fitness because of the abs. So the local gym I used to go to, which is called Syria Gym, this is 400,000 a month. So this literally has everything you need, nothing fancy, no AC or anything like that. But that's how I like my gyms. I like to sweat when I'm in a gym. I don't want to be frozen and have to put on a hoodie. Now you can go to a little bit better gym, Bull Gym. I believe it's like 1 mil for the month. Yeah, so a nicer gym, a lot bigger, more machines and all that type of stuff. If you have a Kitas, the business visa I was talking about, you only have to pay 500,000, but if not, then you pay 1 million, which is like 70 bucks. And then one of my favorite places, as you see the shirt that I'm wearing, Bali MMA. So it's a martial arts gym. It's literally one of the top martial arts gym in all of Southeast Asia. So I go there, I do Muay Thai and I do Jiu-Jitsu. So I have the unlimited pass, which is 1.8 million a month. And if you want to do a single class, I believe it's like 75 or 50,000 or something like that. So gyms in Bali, I will say, are not the cheapest. Like sometimes they're actually the same prices in the Western world, but when you add up everything else, it works out. All right, so last but not least, it's really gonna depend on the time that you're watching this video. So right now, it's very difficult to get into Bali unless you have a certain type of visa. And one thing out here is that you can get a business visa. So this is called a Kitas. So the price of this, I think, will change depending on the time that you're watching this video, like how you do it, the people that you go through. But this could be a few $1,000s. But if you just get a social visa, which allows you into the country for 6 months, then it'll just be like a few $100s, I believe, maybe 1,000, depending on how you do it. So this is obviously added into the cost because at normal times, like you could just fly in and out and just do your visas that way. But for now, it's like you need a certain type of visa to be able to stay here for at least a few months. But these are all the costs. Like once you're in Bali, like your money can last you so long, especially if you're trying to come here and live off your savings. Maybe you're trying to start some type of new business. Your money can go really far and you really don't need that much of it to have a really good time. Like you can live like a king or a queen at prices that you would never expect to do so in the Western world. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. This was a little bit different. I usually don't do too many cost of livings. The last one I did was in Chiang Mai. You can check that out. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll pop it up over here. If not, I'll leave the link in the description. And like I said, if you want to see a full breakdown of cost of living in Bali, my brother did that on Passport Heavy. You definitely want to check that out. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.